Mr. Omotoso joins me live in the studio. It appears you joined the protest yourself today. How do you think the protests have been handled so far on day two?
Well, so far so good in my own view, that people are not going violent, that people are conducting themselves in a mature manner. But you could see that there was tension in the pictures that was shown earlier. But despite all of that, the police have been mature enough to ensure that things didn't get out of hand. And I feel that once again it's good to congratulate the protesters to say that they have done well by not allowing agents of anarchy to penetrate their ranks, and then by ensuring that it's not violent. But like I said before, at the protest ground, it's time for them to go home. There is no party that continues forever, and there is no quarrel, no matter how big, that won't end up with a dialogue.
A lawyer of one of the groups have also corroborated your position. Ebonolu Adegorowa, senior advocate of Nigeria, has asked that they now engage in meaningful dialogue with government. But the question is, does Governor Sanwo-Olu have plans to engage the leaders or representative of these protesters in Lagos?
Yes. Several days before the protest began, the governor, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, started engaging people or stakeholders, religious leaders, young people, old people, civil society organizations, self-determination groups, all of the people that he felt could help to avert violence in Lagos. And he said so in a statement that we made last night, that he will continue to do this, whether it's with young people or old people, whether it's today or tomorrow or whatever. We believe in democracy, and one of the pillars of democracy is free speech. And free speech also means that you cannot be speaking to yourself. Communication is a two-way thing.
Have you identified these leaders? Have you started talking to them?
You said one issued a statement today calling the people to stop going onto the street. That's one of them. And you can see some of them too holding the microphone and talking and engaging the police chief.
I'm saying, has government reached out to them to come to the table and have a conversation?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Open conversation. We also say so all of the time.
Right.
I said so on television. Mr. Governor said so too in a statement that we released last night.
So in the statement you released last night, you talked about, you released a list of government intervention, one of which is the return of the Sunday markets. Some have said the discount is a welcome relief for many, but how many Lagosians can access this? And for how long can this initiative be sustained?
Well, even before we made an announcement of it, there were so many interventions that we had done. And for us, it's something that people want. And that is what we are going to do. So it's a lot of money, in terms of naira and cover to government. But whatever the welfare of Lagosians will cost Mr. Sanwo-Olu, he wouldn't mind. So we are going to go back to it. We are working out the logistics. As soon as we finalize the logistics, the Sunday market will resume, because it's popular, it's what the people want, it's what they desire.
How do you respond to critics who say that what the Lagos government is doing is trying to buy off protesters with temporary measures rather than addressing the root causes of the grievances? For instance, they're saying, how sustainable is giving 25% discount on food? And how many Lagosians can really benefit from it?
From the figures we have, millions of Lagosians benefited. And that is why it's so popular, and they're asking that we bring it back. But apart from that, we have done so many things in Lagos for people to know that. That is why you didn't see so many of our young people coming out to protest. In terms of training them, only day before yesterday, thousands of graduates from our vocational centers, they came out for us to see them. They passed out of a vocational center, and they were given equipment to go and start their own businesses, small-scale businesses. So that is why such people will not come out to protest. So it's not a question of we are trying to woo people who will have protested. This is something we've been doing ever before the notice for protest came at all. And this is something we are going to continue to do.
What does government see as the key takeaways from these protests, and how will they inform future policy decisions for Lagos?
Well, what we have seen as takeaway, especially for me, is that we need to be talking. We need to be communicating all of the time. And we need to ensure that violence pays nobody. A horse can take you to the battlefront, but it cannot fight for you. And that is the lesson that I have seen. And once again, it is for me to just tell the protesters that it's time to go home. They have been hurt, and they have been conducting themselves in an orderly manner. But now it's time for us to sit down and iron out the issues. Everybody now knows what they want. Everybody will go back to the drawing board to see how we can meet them at a point.
Well, I guess by tomorrow we can tell whether they are listening and if they agree with your position. Gbenga Omotoso is Commissioner for Information in Lagos. Honorable Commissioner, thank you for talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
We're staying in Lagos State.